Khamzat can strike too, though. Strickland's gonna get taken down. That's gonna happen. But he's so well versed on getting up in his cardio. That third, fourth, and fifth round, if he keeps getting up, defend the submission, that's when it gets interesting.
No way Khamzat's gonna fucking stand with him. He's gonna try to take him down. No way.
Keeping you. Yeah. Khamzat can strike too, though. Did you see the video of Khamzat striking with Khalil?
No,
yeah,
totally. But you think that's the best strategy for Khamzat? No way. Strickland can fucking drag him. He's got great striking. Why would you take a chance?
But here's why you can try to stand with Strickland, because he's not a knockout artist. Like, he's a volume puncher, like a Nate Diaz. It's a lot of volume. So even if you do stand with him, you get pieced up, he's not really going to knock you out.
We really don't know how Khamzat's chin is.
So we dropped him.
Strickland versus Chimaev is not going to be a competitive fight. This is going to be decided in the first round. Now, let me tell you why. I'm not suggesting for you that the fight ends in the first round. What I'm telling you is whoever wins that round is going to win all the rest of the rounds the exact same way. It is very difficult for me to imagine Chimaev can't go out and tackle somebody. Why? Well, because every Chimaev fight I've seen, he has gone out and tackled somebody quickly.
Whoa, hold up. The whispers around a potential Strickland versus Chimaev stare-down have been electric, sparking total chaos amongst fans and analysts alike. And you just heard why. Forget a long, drawn-out war. The expert here is dropping bombs, suggesting this monumental clash will be decided within the very first round. It's not about a knockout or submission, but about who establishes dominance immediately. This isn't just a fight. It's a strategic chess match where the opening moves dictate the entire game. The very thought of these two clashing is enough to cause pandemonium, and the idea of it being settled so early is truly what makes this total chaos in a tactical sense.
But it's very hard for me to imagine that he's going to just throw Sean Strickland down. Nobody else has. Kamaru Usman didn't, just for example of great wrestlers.
This is a profound statement that immediately throws a wrench into Khamzat Chimaev's perceived dominance. To suggest that simply throwing Sean Strickland down is a difficult task, even for a grappling phenom like Chimaev, highlights the unique challenge Strickland poses. The comparison to Kamaru Usman, an elite wrestler in his own right, underscores just how formidable Strickland's takedown defense truly is. This isn't just a stylistic matchup. It's a fundamental question of whether Chimaev's most reliable weapon will be effective, plunging the fight into immediate tactical chaos.
I have seen Sean in the practice room. Just for example, in practice room stories are very, very relevant. Like, you'll see a different side of a guy in a practice room. When a guy goes into a fight, he's going to go with plan A, and he will never go to plan B.
The expert is setting the stage here, emphasizing the invaluable insight gained from the practice room. This isn't just about what we see on fight night, but the hidden layers of skill and strategy that often remain unseen. It's a critical distinction, as a fighter's plan A is what they present to the world, but their full capabilities are often reserved for the training mats. This context is vital because it means the chaos of a Strickland versus Chimaev fight might stem from what we don't know about these fighters, especially their true versatility beyond their established fight personas.
Ever, unless plan A doesn't work. You have a guy like Khabib where people go, well, he's a one-dimensional fighter. Well, he was one-dimensional because that dimension always worked. In the practice room, Khabib can punch and he can kick and he can fight off his back. He can do all sorts of things. But you've never seen them because he was so dominant in fighting, just for an example.
The Khabib example perfectly illustrates why we shouldn't judge a book by its cover, or a fighter by their most dominant dimension. While the Eagle was renowned for his grappling, the practice room revealed a far more complete martial artist. This analogy is pivotal for understanding the potential chaos in a Strickland-Chimaev matchup. It implies that both fighters, especially Chimaev, might possess untapped skills that could completely alter the dynamic of the fight if their primary strategy is neutralized. This hidden depth is what makes predictions so difficult and the actual fight so thrillingly unpredictable.
So practice room is very relevant. I've never in the practice room seen somebody go throw Sean Strickland down and keep him there. ever. Not for one single round, not ever. I've seen him taken down. I've seen him start on bottom. I have never seen him taken down and kept there.
And this is where the practice room relevance truly hits home for Sean Strickland. The expert's testimony is striking. Despite Sean being taken down, nobody, not even in training, has managed to keep him there. This isn't just about takedown defense. It's about an almost immediate, instinctive ability to scramble back to his feet. This revelation is central to the total chaos surrounding a Chimaev fight, as it directly challenges Khamzat's foundational approach. If Chimaev can't hold Strickland down, it fundamentally breaks his game plan and forces him into uncharted territory, creating tactical mayhem.
Adversely, I've never seen Chimaev not take somebody down and keep them there. I mean, do you see where this is interesting? Like, it's a very classic battle. And it's not the classic battle of striker versus grappler, but it is the classic battle of, can Chimaev, whose plan A is to take you down, work? And if it doesn't, can we necessarily count him out?
Here lies the crux of the classic battle and the source of true chaos in this matchup. On one hand, Chimaev has an almost perfect record of taking opponents down and dominating them on the ground. On the other, Strickland has an equally impressive, if less heralded, ability to not stay down. It's an unstoppable force meeting an immovable object. The question isn't just if Chimaev can get the takedown, but if he can keep it. If Plan A fails for Khamzat, the fight immediately descends into a tactical scramble, a desperate search for a Plan B we haven't seen, which is the definition of fight chaos.
We don't actually know that, but we will know in the very first round. Islam had a difficult time taking Poirier down, as a more recent example. But then Islam showed us how good he was on his feet. He showed that he could really brawl when he needed to. He could put his chin down. He could put punches together. He could put combinations. He could finish with kicks. He could do damage. He could clinch and throw knees.
The expert's point about the first round being decisive is echoed here, but with a crucial twist, it will reveal the depth of Chimaev's arsenal. The Islam Makhachev example is perfect. He faced takedown resistance, but then showcased an incredible stand-up game. This is the chaos factor for Chimaev. If Strickland can negate the wrestling, does Khamzat possess a similar, hidden striking ability? It's a gamble for Chimaev, a test of whether his raw power translates into diverse striking, and a question that will undoubtedly be answered in the unpredictable early moments of this highly anticipated stare-down.
Everybody has decided that Chimaev can't do that. But you have no evidence of that. You've just never seen him do that. We don't actually have evidence that he cannot.
This is a massive point that directly challenges the narrative about Khamzat Chimaev. Many fans and analysts have simply assumed he's primarily a grappler and lacks a polished stand-up game. But as the expert rightly states, we have no concrete evidence that he cannot strike at a high level. We've just never seen him forced to rely on it. This unknown element is pure chaos in a fight prediction. It means we could be underestimating a significant part of his skill set, adding another layer of unpredictability to how he might handle a striker of Strickland's caliber.
Chimaev also wears a mask. Chimaev has an aura around him. Everybody that speaks of him speaks the same way that I do, which is very highly. Very good reputation, very good work ethic, very good leader in the gym. But he doesn't wear that mask with Sean because Sean used to train with him. Sean has felt him.
The mask and aura of Khamzat Chimaev are undeniable weapons, a psychological advantage that has undoubtedly rattled previous opponents. His reputation, built on dominant performances and high praise from those who train with him, creates an almost mythical figure. However, the expert delivers a critical counterpoint. That mask doesn't exist for Sean Strickland. Having trained with Chimaev, Strickland has felt him. This pre-existing knowledge nullifies a significant psychological edge for Khamzat, leveling the playing field and introducing chaos by removing an expected layer of intimidation.
There was a very classic moment. It was Don Fry and Ken Shamrock, and it was back in the Pride days. They're getting ready to fight. So they're at the weigh-in the day before, and they come together. And Don Fry in his own mind and heart, was worried about the strength, the actual just physical strength of Ken Shamrock. He was worried about it. So Don started something with him at the weigh-in. He wanted Ken to take the bait, and Ken did. And all Don wanted was Ken to grab him in some fashion. Don wanted to feel that. One time the night before he got in the ring, Ken took the bait, he grabbed him, and that's where Don's confidence grew.
This legendary anecdote about Don Frye and Ken Shamrock brilliantly illustrates the profound psychological impact of feeling an opponent. Frye, worried about Shamrock's strength, deliberately provoked a pre-fight grab just to gauge it. This isn't about proving toughness. It's about dispelling the crippling anxiety of the unknown. This story directly connects to Strickland having trained with Chimaev. Strickland isn't entering this potential stare-down with an intangible fear of Chimaev's power. He's already experienced it. This insider knowledge is a game changer, removing a significant element of mental chaos for Strickland.
Right there in that moment, every worry that he had about, man, this guy is so strong and this guy is going to be too strong, and he felt him. And he said he was strong, but now I know. I know how strong he is, and I don't have to worry about it. And I only share for you, like, it's a very real thing. It's why so many guys will get done with the fight and then beg for a rematch.
The follow-up to the Don Frye story is crucial. It's not just about knowing an opponent is strong. It's about gaining specific, tangible knowledge of how strong they are. This shifts a paralyzing fear of the unknown into manageable information, boosting a fighter's confidence. The expert highlights that this feeling aspect is a very real, human element in combat, often dictating future rematches. For Strickland, having felt Chimaev in the practice room, he bypasses this initial psychological hurdle, potentially giving him a mental edge that adds another layer of strategic chaos to this highly anticipated matchup.
George St. Pierre did not believe that he could beat Matt Hughes. George goes out there and dominates Matt Hughes, but just I'm not on his level, and found a way. He just found a way to make sure Matt won, and then goes, give me a rematch. Now the mask is off. Now I know. Now I believe in himself. And it was a very one-sided affair, but this is a real thing when you can feel a guy, and I'm just sharing with you, like, whoever wins.
The George St. Pierre example perfectly extends the psychological impact of feeling an opponent. GSP, initially believing he couldn't beat Matt Hughes, went on to dominate him in a rematch once the mask was off. This illustrates that sometimes self-belief comes from direct experience, from understanding the opponent's limits and your own. For Sean Strickland, having already felt Khamzat Chimaev, he starts with that crucial self-belief. This eliminates a significant psychological barrier, making him a far more dangerous and unpredictable opponent, adding to the total chaos of this dream fight.
Can Sean stop the takedown? I think that Sean is a better kickboxer. I think that he's a meaningfully better kickboxer. I watched Sean for 25 minutes out kickbox Israel Adesanya, who is a decorated, pure kickboxer.
Here's where Sean Strickland truly shines and injects another element of chaos into the Chimaev matchup. The expert doesn't just say he's a good kickboxer. He asserts he's meaningfully better, even going so far as to say he out-kickboxed Israel Adesanya for 25 minutes. This is a monumental claim, as Adesanya is a decorated, pure kickboxer. If Strickland can truly dictate the striking exchanges, it forces Chimaev, known primarily for his wrestling, into an uncomfortable realm. This significant striking disparity is a potent catalyst for total chaos, as it challenges Khamzat's ability to adapt on his feet.
But we don't actually know. What can Chimaev do on his feet? There was also a stigma going around about Chimaev that he would get tired. And fade. But that stigma wasn't true. What we learned is...
This segment underscores the enduring mystery of Khamzat Chimaev's stand-up game and how it contributes to the total chaos of this fight. While many have written off his striking, the truth is, we haven't seen enough of it to make a definitive judgment. The expert also rightly points out that the old stigma about Chimaev tiring was proven false. He simply leaves everything in the octagon. So, if his takedowns are nullified, will we finally see a hidden, potent striker emerge? This unknown quantity keeps everyone guessing and ensures that any stare-down with Strickland holds immense, unpredictable weight.
Chimaev leaves everything out there. He's tired at the end of every fight because he gives everything. And if he's got to give that for 25 minutes or he's got to give that for 15, either way, he's going to empty the tank. But Strickland is also known for his pacing. Strickland is also known for his conditioning. I've never seen Strickland wilt. Even on fights that haven't gone Sean's way, it's not because he got tired and gave up, ever.
This is a clash of titans when it comes to cardio and durability, adding another layer to the strategic chaos. Khamzat Chimaev is known for emptying the tank, giving 110% for every second of every fight, which is admirable. But Sean Strickland is a different beast altogether. Renowned for his relentless pacing and unyielding condition, he simply never wilts. This means that even if a fight goes deep, neither man is likely to break due to exhaustion. It sets up a high-intensity war of attrition where sheer will and deep reserves will collide, promising absolute chaos until the final bell.
One of these guys is better than the other one, and one of these guys is going to have an ability and a skill set that is going to overwhelm his opponent. And we're going to know who that is. Not at the end of 25 minutes. We're going to know who that is at the end of round 1.
This final thought encapsulates the core of the total chaos surrounding Strickland versus Chimaev. It's not just about who wins, but how they win, and how quickly that dominance is established. The expert's bold prediction is that one fighter's unique skill set will unequivocally overwhelm the other, and that clarity will come not over 25 minutes, but by the end of round 1. It's a call for an immediate, undeniable display of superiority, promising an explosive start that leaves no room for doubt. The chaos won't be drawn out. It will be instant, decisive, and unforgettable.